Alright, welcome back to Weather with Wanda. Today there is a 100% chance of a snowfall.
Aggressive.
What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the Strong.Sistas YouTube channel. In today's vlog, we'll be talking a little bit about spices and condiments on the carnivore diet. But need to clarify a few things moving forward. Backed by popular demand, we will still be including scenes from today's workout in our vlogs, but we will be housing these workouts in a separate YouTube channel called Strong.Sistas Training. So make sure you guys check out that channel, like and subscribe there, where we will include these sets and reps and other tips and then upload those daily workout videos so you can follow along there. Plus, if you're looking for like support and accountability, you should join our Strong.Sistas Training Facebook group. It's a super fun group. We will include extra tips about workouts. We go live every single day to address some of the questions in the group, help hold you guys accountable, and we offer at-home variations to accommodate those who do not have access to a gym. So let's get this vlog started. We're gonna start the day off by making a batch of bone broth and then hit up the gym because it's a B cubed kind of day. Back, booty, and biceps. Let's go.
Good morning, Miss Marshmallow. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Alright, so here we have the full duck bone broth, letting no parts go to waste using these odd bits for the broth. So here we have the webbed duck feeties. Here's some duck heads and then some duck necks. These look like carnivore candy canes. Can I have a carnivore candy cane, please? Please and thank you, carnivore candy cane. Honestly, those are really good tasting. So we get all of our duck from White Oak Pastures. There's their logo there. So they have pastured duck. So we're gonna stick all of this into our crock pot, and we're gonna use the slow cooker function and cook it for about 24 to 30 hours.
I wanna see the light. See the light. I wanna see the light. I wanna see the light. I wanna see
Always in such a great mood after getting an amazing lift in, and now there's these little snowfalls, so I'm in a little snow globe, and now we get to go home and eat platter number one. It is a good day. Welcome to scenes from platter number one. So I just wanted to show you really quickly that raw butter that we made the video on how to make yourself. It sat in the fridge and solidified. You can see it's like chunky now. Now we used it to saute our liver and our steak today. So extra good, extra tasty. So our platters today, I know they look the same as normal, but they're actually very special. Yes. So that steak right there, that beautiful lightly seared steak, you might be thinking, oh, that's round steak. It's round steak. No, it is sirloin steak. Sirloin has like this buttery, soft texture. So like we always say, chuck is the poor man's ribeye. I feel like round is the poor man's sirloin. For sure. So we treated ourselves with some sirloin steak today. We've got some raw beef suet, some seared liver, and then 2 raw egg yolks. So you might notice that there are some green things on this sirloin steak. So everything is seasoned with salt, Redmond sea salt, but we also have some fresh thyme from our local market that we've been incorporating onto our steaks. It's such a small amount, but it honestly adds some beautiful flavor notes. So tasty. All right, let's see you.
Adding in another scene from platter number 1 to show you guys just how wonderful this sirloin is. Look at that little bit of yellow fat. So the taste difference from round is just that this piece is a little bit more buttery. It's such a good way to describe it. As opposed to round, it's a little bit more tough. That's why we like save and prize this piece. It's like prized possession and kind of go ham on eating round all the time. It's not that we don't like round, it's just that it's like one is maybe better than the other, and that's what we're working with here. But every time I eat this, I just savor it so much. Every last bite.
Speaking of carnivore condiments, so these raw yolks, I've got my sirloin steak. I'm just gonna pop and dip my steak into the best sauce there is on all the land.
The best type of sauce. Good? Okay, return to eating platter 1.
I think this exact steak might be what's on my shirt. More meat, less problems. Beautiful steak, beautiful steak. Beautiful, beautiful chuck roast. So chuck roast is easily one of our favorites. We talk about it all the time. I could go on for days about it. There's a lot of odd things going on within the chuck roast. Of course, you would cut out the bones if you're going to eat this kind of like a steak. But I also pulled out this from the roast. So I don't know if many other people get this in their, I don't know, this has been in a lot of our chuck roasts. I don't know what it's called. If anybody knows what it's called, I'm excited to hear. But I like to eat this. It's very good. I'm sure there's a lot of connective tissue and collagen within this little chunk. So again, I pulled this out of the chuck roast, and I'll just cook it the same way that I'll cook the rest of the chuck roast. So it's gonna go in a light sear on the cast iron and some butter, and it gets a little bit easier to eat once it's slightly seared. Right now it's very, you can see, like bendy and squishy, and it's not that easy to chew through, but it's good. I don't know, I thoroughly enjoy this part. But if you know what it's called, hit your sister up, because I really don't know what it's called. I don't know, but it's part of my favorite chuck roast, and I feel like I should know. So time to make platter number 2. So here are the overall components of everything we're going to be using. So we've got 3 different kinds of meat. We've got some ground beef, a cut up chuck steak, and then a little bit leftover sirloin steak. We've got some raw beef suet that we're going to chunk up. We're going to be using eggs, and then we are going to be using some seasonings as just toppings, because plants are better as toppings, not food. But that is what we are going to talk about, right? Meow. I'm going to discuss with you guys seasonings and condiments on the carnivore diet. So we get a lot of questions of what seasonings you can use or what condiments are allowed, and really anything is allowed that works for you. So there's no off-limit foods. It's really about finding, like I said, what works for you and what doesn't cause you to have any negative reactions. So everybody is going to be different. The way we view carnivore is that it's an animal-based diet, and that there's certain levels of things that you can introduce into the diet and not have any negative reactions. And if that's the case with all seasonings, then go on your way using all the seasonings that you like. For us, we've found that our bodies respond better to some seasonings over others. What this is coming down to is the overall level of toxins in specific seasonings. And the way we see it is there are 2 different types of common seasonings, and that is seed spices and leaf spices, commonly called like herbs. And so now we're going to review the differences between the 2, and if you think you have some sort of issue with a seasoning, or you are not sure what in your diet is causing you to flare up, you might consider implementing some of this information regarding seasonings into your own diet and go from there. Boop! So especially if you are coming into carnivore with digestive issues, I was one of those people. I had dealt with chronic constipation for a very long time. I would suggest doing the carnivore diet with salt only as your only spice, and then after like a 30-day period, add back in some seasoning to see how you react to them. So whenever we tell people, oh, no seasoning on that, or no, I don't really use seasonings on my food, they're always like, seriously, are you crazy? Like, what could a little seasoning do to you? But when you think about it, seeds
like just like plants don't want to be eaten. Seeds are seasonings. So a lot of seasonings come from seeds, and they don't want to be eaten.
Seeds are plant babies, and so those plants are going to protect their babies.
And so some of the highest levels of toxins are seen in these seasonings. And so especially, like she said, if you have digestive issues, this could be a real issue and lead to leaky gut, which could further any symptoms you're experiencing, especially with autoimmune conditions. I'd be willing to bet this is why coming to carnivore is so powerful for people with autoimmune conditions, because you're removing a lot of these toxins that are leading to your symptom flare-ups. So with that being said, let's dive into the difference between seeds and herbs.
Yeah, let's review what we view as like pretty safe ones, and then
safe seasonings.
some that aren't necessarily bad, but you may want to try avoiding.
Yes.
Okay. Right. The troublemakers are in general the seed-based, the nightshades-based spices, and the fruit-based spices. And so these are going to be things like black pepper, coriander, mustard seed, cumin seed, and while garlic isn't necessarily a seed spice, that typically causes some issues as well.
Even cinnamon can cause some people issues. It comes from bark.
Yeah.
But like we're all different. And another thing is to think about is turmeric. So turmeric isn't necessarily a seed either. It's coming from a root of a plant, and it's always praised for its anti-inflammatory properties, which is just to show that we all respond differently to it. She got a sensitivity test done that showed she was highly inflammatory to turmeric.
Turmeric was my #1 inflammatory.
Yeah, really
food.
Ironically. And so that just shows that like you can't take one study and one result and then apply that to everybody. You really have to realize that there's other mechanisms going on the side within other people's bodies that can result in them responding differently to everything.
Yeah. So in general, now we're going to switch to the non-troublemakers. So these are going to be more of the leaf spices, and in general, the leaves of plants are going to have the least level of toxins.
We typically call these the more benign seasonings.
Benign.
So if we've ever said that in a video, we're referring to leaf spices like herbs. So what we've got here.
So
hold on. Uno momento. Our good examples, pretty well rounded. So we've got some rosemary, basil, oregano, and then thyme in this baggie.
And then bay leaves is another one. So we don't use these every day on our steak, but we love adding these leaf spices into like slow cooked things, like slow cooked tongue or our bone broth every once in a while, or when we make our braised kidney stew. My 3 go-tos are bay leaves, rosemary, thyme, and some salt. That combination is magical and causes no issues for us.
Yeah, so I like animal foods, unique, great nutrients. There's no real unique nutrients or benefits that I feel like you would see from incorporating herbs into your diet, but if they provide like a little spicier extra taste, then like go for it. Why not? They're not causing any issues for us, but we do like a very small sprinkle. Like we'll show you on the plate as we get cooking. Very small sprinkle.
So if you are someone coming to carnivore with digestive issues or health issues and you want to focus on healing, I would suggest doing no spices for the first 30 or so days.
Just salt.
Just salt. And then start by adding in spices. So start with those leaf spices. And then if there are any that you are really missing, for example, like garlic powder, just give it a shot. But be able to isolate that spice, so don't add in a bunch of stuff at the same time. Add in one at a time and keep track of your symptoms. So with that, we're gonna get cooking with platter 2.
Beautiful chuck steak. Follow me. I'm gonna see her.
Oh, okay. This chuck steak in our homemade raw butter, it doesn't get much better than this, folks.
You're so beautiful to me, so beautiful to me. More meats, less problems. This tomato is a lifestyle, it's everything. Hello, Eunice is back in action today.
So we're feeling like having some soft, jammy eggs, so we're busting out Eunice.
Eunice is here.
Well, bam!
Eunice took his hat off.
We're each gonna have 3 eggs. So we're gonna put 6 eggs around Eunice, and then we filled up. So Eunice has this beautiful measure cup
So we want soft boiled, and we went up to 6. So I'm going to pour this water in there. And then Eunice has this sharp butt.
I always forget this step.
Crack the bottom of each one.
What do you think that does?
You know,
She doesn't know.
I don't know.
Whoops.
Oops. Very sharp butt bee sting. Alright, head back on Eunice. She will yell at us when she is ready.
She or he, we don't know. Everything we said about seeds and spices kind of applies to condiments as well. You'll see ingredient lists, such as with ketchup, there's usually like garlic powder added, or there's coriander, cumin, and different sort of spices. So just pay attention to the ingredient labels if you are trying to avoid a specific spice. That's why we always just use egg yolk as like our nature's sauce. It's a staple, and it doesn't have any of those additional spices added to it.
The carnivore condiment. But stay tuned, we'll be sharing some recipes for some other fun condiments like carnivore mayo and a few other things like carnivore gravy. So we'll be sharing those in the future.
Things.
But in general, there are people on carnivore who include sugar-free ketchup. If you can tolerate that, it's such a small amount that that's totally fine. If you want to put that on your burger, test it out.
I know that, what's that brand? Primal Kitchen has some good quality dressings and sauces and barbecue sauces and seasonings, but like I said, if there's a specific seed or a seasoning or spice that you're trying to avoid, just check the ingredient list, and if you try it one day and you have no issue with it, then like why not include it if you like it?
Because the two most common condiments, mustard and ketchup. Mustard ultimately comes from a mustard seed, right?
Yeah.
And then ketchup comes from tomato, and tomatoes are nightshades, which can be problematic for people with digestion issues.
Yes, so test it out for yourself.
I'll take the egg yolk. I'll take the egg yolk condiment any day, all day.
Oh, we also made a recipe for barbecue sauce, so
we'll be sharing these.
A completely animal-based barbecue sauce. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Just get excited.
Just stay tuned.
All right, is it time to eat?
Soon.
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 Soon. Soon. Soon. Tamale, hot tamale. Hot tamale, hot tamale. Ow. So another thing to note is like spicy things. So spicy seasonings or like spicy ketchup, they can lead to more inflammation. So again, if you are somebody with an autoimmune condition or are already dealing with a lot of inflammation in your body, a leaky gut, just maybe consider not using the spicy ones too, right?
Yeah.
And chili pepper is a nightshade as well, so that's just something else to consider.
I kind of think of spicy things as like the plant is screaming at you.
Oh my god.
Don't eat me! Don't eat me!
What? Don't eat me!
I don't know. That's just how I think about it.
I can't with these. I just realized that, so I have these glasses in non-blue light blockers, but these ones I have the blue light blocker, and I just realized that I walk around with like yellow shield shades on. Oh, probably look like a loser. What are you doing? The cast iron is very hot, so I have to secure it on my body on one side. And it's very heavy, so my wrist...
Extra.
Ow! Oh! Very
This ain't
difficult.
safe. This ain't safe.
Anything for the ground beef. Come on, babies.
Yes, you guys will see. Oh my gosh, you're eating ground beef. So
Come
we are
on.
lightly searing the ground beef.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, but I can't get it out. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, that's all.
Interesting one.
Sorry if you were expecting some like defined list of like condiments or seasonings that you can enjoy, but like we said, it's so person dependent, so it really is just going to come down to what you tolerate. Another thing is like you can think about doing mayo, which I know a lot of times is just made with like cream or yogurt or
there's a lot of refined vegetable oils made in mayo.
in typical mayos, but if you make your own with like egg yolks and stuff, you could probably make a pretty carnivore
we
friendly
made a
mayo.
carnivore mayo.
We did.
We'll be sharing.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
But in general, it's so person dependent. It really is.
But if you're starting, avoid them and then reintroduce and test and run your own experiment.
Indeed.
We are going to top our steak with some fresh thyme and rosemary. So I'm just plucking the little leaves off of this vine. Here's a better one. And I think it'd be really cool someday to grow our own herbs. We should do that in the future.
I'm sensing a soon to be DIY.
Yes, I would grow some our own herbs.
It has been sent. The scent is
Yes,
there.
these were grown locally, which is really cool. Picked up. Fire! So as it gets darker, we've been relying less on artificial blue lights and more on some candles. But not just any candle.
Tallow.
Tallow! Candle!
Candles.
So we get our tallow candles from White Oak Pastures.
Of course, this is the caramel popcorn.
Caramel popcorn flavor. This smells so good. So we're gonna have
But this is not caramel
candlelight
popcorn.
dinner.
So what we have on our plates is all of that chuck roast,
With some thyme and rosemary and salt.
a little bit of very lightly seared sirloin steak, treating ourselves still. We have a little bit of beef liver and then some ground beef.
Give them an overview of the brown plate.
Brown plates. So we have brown plates, white plates. So we've got some of the raw beef suet chunks that had the aggressive snowfall, and then 3 eggs cooked in Eunice.
I will sacrifice to win. Let's check on the egg status. So I will chop mine before we eat. I will be the sacrificial. Let's check it out.
She wanted soft. Did we accomplish soft?
Oh, that is really nice, Eunice.
Beautiful.
Wow, Eunice, you did so well. I am so proud of you,
Eunice really behaves.
like
an angel.
So good, so jammy. Yes, yum.
So we're gonna eat these bumpin' platters with a lot of brown, just a tiny bit of green seasonings. Plants are not meant for main food source. They are just a topping.
Sprinkles.
Sprinkles. So that's all for today's video.
Hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, make sure you guys are behaving like an angel.